You know what's crazy? Most women spend hours wondering how to get a man to think about them, when the real magic happens in just one question, the one that keeps him awake, staring at his ceiling, trying to figure you out. It's not a trick, it's not a game. It's the moment you say something so emotionally sharp, he can't stop replaying it, because it hits deeper than anything he's heard before. Let me explain. Every connection begins with curiosity, that spark of, who is she really? But most people kill that spark too soon. They either overshare, trying to prove they're interesting, or go quiet, trying to seem mysterious. But real intrigue isn't silence, it's emotional contrast. It's when your presence feels light, yet your words linger. When you ask something that makes him pause, not because he's confused, but because he's seen. Before I tell you the exact kind of question that creates that effect, pause for a second. If you've ever felt like you give too much or try too hard to get someone's attention, this next part is your turning point. Because it's not about being perfect, it's about being remembered. I will share something with you that very few women truly understand. It is not your body that keeps him up at night, thinking about you. It is not your pictures, your cute messages, or even the memory of your most passionate moments together. What really holds him is the mystery, the uncertainty of whether he still has you or if you've already slipped away. That uncertainty becomes an echo in his mind, replaying again and again. Because men do not become obsessed with what they understand. They become obsessed with what they can't quite figure out. Here is the truth that few will ever tell you. The more predictable you are, the less space you take up in his thoughts. But when you carry an air of emotional mystery, not by playing games, but through calmness, silence, and depth, his mind starts to search for you. That's where emotional connection begins, the kind that time cannot easily erase. But this connection isn't created by accident. It starts with knowing how to speak in a way that plants small thoughts in his mind, that doesn't beg, explain, or seek attention, but instead inspires reflection. And that's where the question comes in. The one question that, if you ask it at just the right time, will circle through his thoughts long after the lights are off. Picture this. It's late, the world is quiet, and he's lying in the dark. Suddenly, your question comes back to him. It wasn't a shallow question like, what's wrong, or what are you thinking? It was something deeper, something that reached a part of him he didn't even know existed. Your words made him see himself through your eyes, in a way no one else ever had. And now, in that quiet darkness, he replays it over and over, searching for meaning, wondering what you truly meant. Because a predictable woman fades from memory, but a woman who makes him think, who challenges him gently to see himself differently, becomes a mystery his mind cannot let go of. When you hold that quiet mystery, you are not distant, you are whole. You are like a beautiful book that hints at a captivating story, but never reveals all its pages at once. You give him just enough so he wants to keep reading, wants to know what comes next. Your silence carries weight. It is full of meaning. Your calmness isn't coldness, it's confidence. Your depth isn't complexity, it's emotional richness. The question you ask isn't meant for an instant answer. It's meant to linger, to take root in his mind, to grow in importance with each passing hour. It becomes the key that opens parts of him he never realized existed. The next day, as he's working or driving, you'll cross his thoughts again. Not because you reached out, but because you planted something that keeps growing quietly inside him. And as he tries to figure you out, he also begins to understand himself. That is the kind of bond that survives long after the heat of passion fades. It's the invisible pull that brings him back, even when his mind says he shouldn't care. Because you reach deeper than desire. You sparked his emotional and intellectual curiosity, and that, my dear, is what turns short-lived attraction into lasting fascination. Before I tell you the question, you must understand why it works. Most men live in logic, not emotion. They like control, quick answers, and avoiding deep feelings. But when you stir something in them they can't control, when you make them question themselves, that's when you create a gap in their mind. In that gap, your memory stays alive. That's why this question isn't about forcing attention. It's about making him think, even if he tries not to. Because when someone triggers reflection in another, they leave a mark that time cannot erase. Whether a day or a year passes, words that touch the subconscious never disappear. This question does exactly that. It stirs curiosity, a touch of nostalgia, and a little doubt. Three emotions that keep him emotionally tied to you, even when you are nowhere near. That's why when you talk to him, don't confront or pressure. Look at him softly, smile slightly, and ask it with calmness. Don't explain, don't justify, don't expect an immediate reply. The power of this question lies not in the moment you speak it, but in what happens after. The tone you use matters as much as the words. Men are trained to read between the lines, to sense hidden motives, to guard themselves against neediness. So your energy must be emotionally light. No anxious looks that say, please answer. No tension that reveals you've been waiting for this moment. Because if you show even a trace of pressure, his defenses rise instantly. When you corner a man with direct questions like, why didn't you call? Or where is this going? His mind switches into survival mode. He looks for exits, builds emotional walls, and gives short, safe answers just to escape. Pressure never brings clarity. It only drives him away. When you push for answers or radiate I need to know now energy, he feels trapped. Men see emotional pressure as a loss of freedom, a threat to their space, and when they sense that, they pull away, even if they cared deeply before. That's why you must let go with calmness. Look at him with soft eyes and a gentle smile. Let your energy be light, peaceful, free of urgency. Your gaze shouldn't be intense or demanding. It should be calm, as if the question came to you naturally. When you look at him like that, you project quiet strength. You say without words, I need nothing from you. I'm simply curious. That calmness tells him you're centered in yourself. Your eyes should reflect emotional peace, not arrogance, but acceptance, as if you've made peace with the past, the present, and whatever will come. You no longer chase outcomes or fear rejection. This serenity is rare and magnetic. Most people move through life full of noise, tension, and hidden fear. So when someone appears calm, it pulls others in like gravity. And that small smile, the one that barely shows, carries more power than any words. It shouldn't be nervous or overly sweet. It's the quiet smile of someone who knows something he doesn't. A smile that holds mystery, a trace of wisdom, maybe even nostalgia. It's the expression of a woman who has lived, learned, and outgrown the old games. That kind of woman stays in a man's mind long after the conversation ends, because she didn't demand attention. She earned it through grace, stillness, and depth. Such calm confidence leaves an impression he can't forget. It makes him wonder who you truly are, what you think, what you feel. And even when he tries to move on, that question, your question, will whisper back to him in quiet moments. It will echo in his thoughts, not because you wanted power, but because you showed him something rare. A woman who can love without losing herself, who can be curious without being needy, and who can connect without trying to control. That is the mystery that never fades. This smile carries an incredible power. It softens his guard, because when someone expects confrontation and instead meets genuine but mysterious warmth, his mind doesn't quite know what to do with it. He stays curious, unsettled in a good way, wondering silently. What does that smile mean? What is she thinking? Why is she so calm? And in that moment of open curiosity, that's when you ask the question, without warning, without preparation, without unnecessary background. You let it fall lightly, as if you were tossing a feather into the air. Effortless, natural, without worrying where it lands. You say it without explaining, without defending, and without expecting an answer right away. That's the difficult part. We humans have this constant urge to fill silence, to explain ourselves, to make sure the other person gets it. But doing that ruins the quiet magic of this moment. When you start explaining, when you say things like, I was just thinking, or I'm not sure if this makes sense, but you take away all the weight from your words. Explanations expose insecurity. They show that you aren't fully certain of what you're saying, and that instantly pulls him out of reflection and puts him in control. He thinks, she's unsure. She wants something from me, but this question must stand alone, without support, without clarification. Like a painting that doesn't need a caption, or a poem everyone reads differently. Its mystery is exactly what makes him think. So don't justify yourself. Don't say, I was just curious, or I asked others the same thing, or I read that somewhere. Any attempt to justify it becomes a silent confession that you think you did something wrong. And if you don't trust the question yourself, how could it possibly touch him? Confidence can't be faked. If you say it with true belief in its meaning, he'll feel it, and that's what gives it strength. And here comes the hardest part of all. Do not expect him to answer right away. Don't stand there staring, waiting for a reply. Don't fill the silence with nervous words like, "So, what do you think?" or "You're not going to say anything?" Because the moment you do, you destroy the very tension you've built. Think of this question as planting a seed. Seeds don't grow because you stare at them. They grow in silence, in their own rhythm. This question needs that same quiet space. It needs time to settle in his thoughts, to grow roots there. While he's driving, showering, or lying awake at night, it will slowly unfold in his mind. If you demand an immediate reaction, you'll only get a shallow one. But if you ask and then gently pull back, physically or emotionally, you give it room to sink into his subconscious. That's when he starts wondering, why did she ask me that? What did she mean? What do I mean to her? What did she see in me that made her ask? After you say the question, you can pause briefly for a couple of seconds, just long enough for him to respond if he chooses, then move the conversation on naturally, or better yet, end it gently. Say, "I have to go," or "See you later," or simply smile and walk away. That quiet exit completes the circle perfectly. The question now hangs in the air, unanswered, open, and the human brain hates open loops. It can't stand unresolved thoughts or unfinished stories. So his mind will keep going back to that moment, replaying it, trying to decode what you meant. And every time he does, he'll think of you. And that right there is the goal. The question you ask is, have you ever wondered what you really feel when I'm not there? Read that again slowly. Let it sink into your own heart before you ever use it. This is not some disguised version of, "Do you miss me?" or "Do you think about me?" It's something far deeper, more intelligent, and much more powerful. It sounds so simple, yet it carries an emotional gravity that few truly grasp. Its beauty lies in that simplicity. No fancy words, no complicated structure, no emotional demands. Anyone could say it, but only a few understand how to say it right. Its calmness hides its strength. It appears gentle and harmless, almost like an innocent question, but beneath it lies layer after layer of psychological depth. It's like an iceberg. What you see above the surface is small, but what's hidden underneath is massive. That's why it works. It doesn't sound threatening, it doesn't feel like criticism or pressure, and it doesn't trigger his defenses. It sounds like curiosity, like care, like the search for something real. It feels thoughtful, not needy, because this question doesn't force him to think about you. It makes him think about himself, and that's where its true power lies. You are guiding him, without him realizing, into self-reflection, into the parts of himself he rarely explores. Men, especially in relationships, often move on autopilot. They feel things, yes, but they rarely stop to analyze those feelings. They prefer comfort over vulnerability, action over reflection. But this question quietly breaks through that pattern. It makes him stop, even if just for a moment, and wonder, what do I actually feel when she's not around? Is it peace, emptiness, restlessness? To answer that honestly, he has to look beyond his pride. His ego will whisper, "You're fine alone." Don't give her that satisfaction. Pride will tell him, "Don't show weakness." But this question slips past ego because it's not confrontational. It invites honesty instead of demanding it. It's not, "Do you miss me?" A question ego can brush off easily with a casual "sometimes." No, it's, "Have you ever wondered what you really feel when I'm not there?" That one word, really, changes everything. It implies that there's a gap between what he says he feels and what he actually feels. It subtly challenges him to be truthful with himself. And that creates a quiet tension inside him, a need to resolve the dissonance. Now he's questioning whether he misses you out of habit or because you genuinely matter to him. It's the perfect mental trap, but not a manipulative one. It's an invitation, a mirror, asking him to see himself clearly. Because there's a vast difference between missing someone out of routine and missing them out of emotional need. Most people never notice that difference. Missing someone out of habit is easy to explain and harmless to admit. It sounds logical. Of course, I think of her sometimes. We spent time together. That kind of missing doesn't require deep introspection. It's comfortable, controlled, and safe. But the moment he starts realizing it's not just habit, that something deeper stirs when you're not around, that's when the real connection awakens. That's when your presence becomes meaningful, not because you asked for it, but because you inspired it. And all of that begins with one small, gentle question asked with quiet confidence and the power of that mysterious smile. But emotionally needing someone, that is something completely different. It means there's something about you that fills a space inside him no one else can touch. Your presence or your absence genuinely shifts his emotions. You're not just a routine part of his life. You are essential. Admitting that, even to himself, makes him vulnerable. It's scary. It's powerful. Now his thoughts get caught in this difference. He tries to understand, am I just used to her, or is there something deeper? What do I truly feel when I realize she isn't there? Is it just a moment of nostalgia or an actual emptiness? These aren't easy questions. They take time, reflection, honesty, and the more he thinks about it, the more his thoughts drift back to you. Because to understand his own feelings, he must think of you, your presence, your silence, your small moments together. Every time he does, you live in his thoughts, his awareness, his emotional world. And the best part is, you don't respond. You let the silence do its work. That silence matters more than words can express. The pause after such a question is not just important, it's everything. It's what turns a passing thought into something that lingers for days, even weeks. When you ask and then say nothing, you create a space, and nature hates empty space. The human mind hates it too. When silence follows something emotional, the brain instantly tries to fill it. It wants meaning, understanding, closure. But if you don't fill it, not with chatter, not with explanations, you leave him alone with that space. And that's when his mind starts to work. He begins filling it himself with thoughts, feelings, and realizations he didn't expect. Your silence says something powerful. It shows you can hold tension without breaking it, that you're not afraid of quiet moments, that you're calm within uncertainty, that you have the quiet strength to ask something deep and then simply wait. Very few people can do that. This rare ability strikes him as much as the question itself. That pause, the moment when you stay quiet, is when his mind begins to repeat your words again and again. The human brain has this fascinating habit. When something remains unresolved, especially when it carries emotion, it keeps circling back to it. Like a tune stuck in your head, only deeper, heavier, more meaningful. In that silent space, something almost magical happens. The question stops being just words. It becomes a presence, an invisible energy between you. And because you didn't rush to explain or defend it, it stays pure and strong. His mind keeps hearing it. Have you ever wondered what you really feel when I'm not there? Not because you repeat it, but because his thoughts echo it over and over, searching for meaning. Each time his mind returns to it, it's like a wave hitting a rock. The first one barely leaves a mark, but wave after wave, the rock changes shape. That's exactly how your question works inside him, not through sudden impact, but through quiet persistence. The longer you hold that silence, the deeper it sinks in, because he can't ignore it. He can't act as if he never heard it. It lingers between you, unspoken, unanswered, pulling him back. His mind won't rest until it finds peace with it. And this isn't manipulation, it's not control, it's awareness. You're not tricking him into feeling something. You're guiding him toward what's already inside. That difference is everything. Manipulation means pretending, lying, or using someone's weakness to get your way. But this is something higher. You're not deceiving him. You're inviting truth. You're helping him see his own heart more clearly. You're not creating feelings that don't exist. You're shining a light on feelings that were always there but hidden. It's like lighting up a dark room. The space, the truth, the details were already there. You just helped him see them. You're guiding him into his own emotional depth, not to trap him, but to free him. This is not a game, it's a gift. Because most people go through life never truly knowing themselves, never questioning what they feel or why. You give him that rare chance to look inward, to understand his emotions, to meet himself honestly. And if, during that process, he realizes he misses you, that he needs you, that you mean more to him than he dared to admit, it's not because you made him feel it. It's because he finally saw what he's always felt. And no one forgets the person who awakens their self-awareness. That's a deep truth about human nature. We remember those who make us feel happy, those who make us laugh, those who attract us. But those memories are shallow, easy to replace. The one who makes us reflect, who helps us see ourselves in a new way, that person becomes unforgettable. They become part of our inner story, our personal growth. They carve their name into our emotional memory. It's the difference between a tourist visiting a country and an archaeologist uncovering something ancient and valuable. The tourist enjoys the view and moves on. The archaeologist changes how we understand that place forever. You don't want to be the tourist in his world. You want to be the archaeologist who helps him discover something real within himself. When someone truly makes you reflect, not just on surface feelings, but deep within, it creates an invisible bond. Every time he revisits that moment of reflection, you'll be there in his memory. Every time he questions his emotions, he'll remember you were the first who encouraged that honesty. Every time he wonders what he truly feels, that same question you once asked will echo quietly in his heart. You don't just become a memory, you become a mirror, the one who helped him see himself clearly. You become the turning point in his emotional story, the quiet shift that made him understand who he is and what he values. That's why real connection isn't born from absence or desire alone, it's born from awareness. He won't forget you because you're no longer just someone he liked. You're someone who changed how he sees himself. You'll always be tied to that moment of self-realization, and that is what real attraction is made of. Not from need or dependency, but from the depth of the mind and heart. Most people try to build attraction through absence. They vanish for a while so the other person starts missing them. They create a sense of scarcity. They play hard to get. And yes, these tricks can sometimes work because they trigger the fear of losing something, a strong emotion. But attraction built on absence is weak, unstable, and external. It depends on you always keeping your distance, staying mysterious, never being too available. That's tiring because you have to keep calculating how much presence to offer, how much time to give, how much emotion to show. But attraction that grows from the mind is something completely different. It's steady, inner, and calm. It doesn't depend on whether you are physically there or not. It comes from the fact that you've taken a space in his mental and emotional world. When attraction begins in the mind, it doesn't matter whether you're close or far away. You already exist inside him, as part of his thoughts, his self-understanding, and his emotional rhythm. And that kind of bond can't simply fade because of distance or distractions. Mental attraction goes deeper because it reaches beyond simple desire. It touches identity, awareness, and the quiet corners of the soul, the parts that last the longest in human experience. It's not born from the hunger to be remembered, but from the quiet wisdom of knowing you're unforgettable. That is the true difference between need and strength, between hope and confidence, between chasing a place in his thoughts and knowing you already live there. If you long to be remembered, you depend on him. You wait for his attention, his decision, his will. That's a fragile and anxious position. But when you move from the wisdom of knowing you're unforgettable, everything changes. You no longer wait for him to remember you. You simply know he will. You're not asking for a place in his head. You already have it. You're not nervous about what might happen. You're steady in your effect. This confidence doesn't come from pride or fantasy. It comes from understanding the deeper psychology behind human connection. It's knowing that you've left a mark that can't easily fade, that something about your presence shifted something inside him. The wisdom of being unforgettable means realizing you don't have to be the prettiest, the funniest, or the most available person in his world. You just have to be the one who makes him think, who stirs his emotions, who sparks his curiosity, who opens doors in his awareness that stay open long after you've walked away. This kind of wisdom brings you calm, peace, and self-assurance. And that calmness itself is deeply attractive. Because when you're no longer desperate to be remembered, when you stop trying so hard to occupy his thoughts, you become even more unforgettable. Your energy changes. Your presence feels lighter, freer, more grounded. He can sense it. It's not about control anymore. It's about quiet power, the kind that comes from within. Not power over him, but power within yourself. Not control of his feelings, but understanding your own. Not manipulation, but emotional clarity. That is how genuine connection works. When you ask a deep question from this place of inner peace and certainty, when you speak from calmness instead of need, everything feels different. The words carry a different weight. The silence afterward feels fuller. The effect grows stronger because he's not only reacting to what you said, he's responding to the energy behind it, to the quiet confidence that radiates from you, to the emotional depth you carry. That's what creates real, lasting attraction. Not the surface level kind that fades once the game ends. Not the kind that depends on tricks or timing. But the kind that grows because you are truly different. Someone who connects from a deeper place. Someone who understands how emotion, thought, and self-awareness intertwine. Someone who lives with wisdom and integrity. That's the kind of attraction that stays. The kind that transforms him. The kind that makes him think of you not just tonight, but long after. The connection that doesn't fade when the excitement ends, because it's rooted in meaning. It's not about being wanted, it's about being remembered for the way you made him see himself and the world differently. If this message helped you realize the quiet strength within your calm, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Give this a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, and tell me in the comments what this question made you feel. And if you want to go even deeper and support this channel, consider joining the membership. You'll get priority in the comments and access to exclusive content that I create with full heart and intention.